Happy Easter, everyone. I'm so glad we're able to meet and have some time together today. So today we're going to continue our story from last week. Last week we talked about Holy Week, we talked about Palm Sunday, we mentioned Maundy, Thursday, and we talked about the crucifixion and dying of Jesus. So today we're going to continue our story in the same book we read last week, Growing in God's Love. So we're going to continue with the story about Easter. And this story is one that some people have heard, some people haven't, but it's about the women who followed Jesus. A lot of time we talk about the disciples, the 12 disciples who are all men, but there are also women who followed Jesus throughout his life. So we're going to read a story about them and what happened to them on Easter morning. Dying is a part of the life cycle. Think about a plant, any plant, which begins as a seed. First is birth, the sprouting of a seed. Next is growth, the unfurling of stems and leaves. The plant lives and soaks up sunshine and rainwater. Then the plant dries up and it dies. But the life cycle, the story of the plant is not over. New seeds grow in what's left from the old plant. The story was not over for Jesus when he died either. Jesus had been dead for more than a day. Early, on the morning of the third day, Mary, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and other women who loved Jesus went to the tomb where he had been taken. They walked sadly and quietly, carrying sweet-smelling spices to place on his body. When they got to the tomb, they were surprised. The stone was rolled away from the cave opening. They looked in, but Jesus was not there. The women were confused and scared. Who had moved his body? Suddenly, two men in shiny white clothes stood next to them. Afraid, the women turned away. The men said, "This is where the dead are kept. Jesus is not here. He has been raised to life. Remember what he said when you were with him in Galilee? He said that the one sent from God will be taken by those who don't believe in him. This one will be killed, but on the third day, this one from God will rise to life again." The women remembered that Jesus had in fact told them these things. They ran back to all the disciples, eager to tell them the good news. "Jesus is alive," shouted the women. But the disciples didn't believe Mary of Magdala. They didn't believe Joanna. They didn't believe Mary, the mother of James. They didn't believe any of the women. But Peter, he wasn't sure. He ran to the tomb. When he got there, he looked inside. This time, the two men in shiny white clothes were not there. Peter saw only the cloth that had covered Jesus, but no body. He walked away wondering if it could be true. Was Jesus really alive? And so as we talked about last week, the story was not over when Jesus died. And today we get to celebrate that after death was life and that Jesus rose again. And so our story tells us about the women who believed, who knew that what Jesus had told them before his death was true. He in fact is alive. And so we celebrate today the living and resurrected Jesus. And so I know typically on Easter, we would have an Easter egg hunt. And this year it's a little different since we're not meeting in person, but I thought that maybe you could still get a chance to have your own Easter egg hunt at home. So I've made some eggs that I want you to find throughout the day, throughout the week, and they have different things on them. So the first egg I want you to find is something shiny. Find something shiny, just like the men who gave the message to the women had on. So find anything shiny. The second egg says, has risen. Find something that has risen. This could be maybe bread, maybe it's a swing you're pushing, maybe it's someone who's taken a nap after eating so much food today and they're getting up. But find something that has risen. The next egg is family and or friends. Jesus had lots of friends who were basically family. He also had family. So go find family and or friends. And our last egg is joy or excitement. The Easter story is all about joy and excitement. So find some joy, find something exciting. Find someone who's joyful or excited. And if you want, you can just find these things, look for them, or you can also take photos. And if you want to take photos and share them, you can ask your parents to upload the photos, and you can use these hashtags to share your Easter egg hunt. The first one is hashtag folk church. Second is hashtag live in love. And the third is hashtag Ahava Easter. And so you can share anyway, and we'd love to see your photos from your Easter egg hunt at home. I hope you all have a great Easter, have so much fun, and remember to live in love. Thanks, y'all.